What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back again for another This Week in Toku, brought to you by the TokuBrew Podcast, the spin-off that has outran the original, but hey, that one got episode 4 out recently.
Finally updated it.
So go check out that Revice episode. It is a little delayed because software is being a little bit of a butt. So,
Oh my gosh,
sorry
yeah.
about that. I wanted it out on the 5th, but whatever. But this week, we have all 3 shows to talk about. 1 episode of Ultraman Decker, 2 episodes of Dawn Brothers, and we have Kamen Rider Geats. And joining me, as always, is my lovely fiance, my vice captain to this ship.
I honestly thought you just forgot to introduce me. I was just like, I see how it is. Anyway, I'm Stormy, the almost forgotten, but still here.
The almost forgot. Hey, you don't know what was going on in my brain.
Yeah, I already know that too much was going on in your brain at once.
There's a lot this week.
But anyway, yes, we do finally have the Holy Trinity of Ultraman Sentai and Kamen Rider, finally.
Sorry to the Garo people. We just haven't gotten to Garo yet. And I don't think there's a current Garo show airing right now anyway, so, I don't think it's going to be coming to the show, though. Sorry.
Anyway, Holy Trinity, here we are.
Yep. And
Finally. Very sad that Revice has ended.
but we have a whole over
Only
2 hours of that.
Oh yeah, that
Go check that
coming
out.
soon.
Coming out before this.
What?
That video's coming out before this one.
Oh, okay.
Guaranteed.
So you've watched it already then, right?
If you haven't, go check it out.
Yeah, a lot of fun talks. A
So,
lot of fun talks.
we are going to start it in the order that we watch these in, which is Ultraman Decker first, which
Yeah.
is just the second half to
The last
to the
one.
to the trigger plot, which it was fun. Like it was pretty much.
I guess it was kind of fine. I felt like this one was a little bit less put together and a little all over the place, honestly.
Than the last episode.
Yeah.
Even though the last episode was like insane.
Yeah.
But like it felt like the characters bouncing off each other. This one just felt like they were just being like, well, we have these leftover parts from Trigger. I guess we can solve these.
Alright, just assuming that you've already watched this, I honestly kind of do have more criticisms against... I can't speak. Criticisms. I have more
Criticisms.
Chrysanthemums. I have more criticisms for this episode than I usually have for these, but...
Oh yeah. Okay. What do you
I
got?
I don't know if you're on the same page as me, though.
No, you can go. Like I'm about to say, I don't really have any pluses or minuses to really say about this episode. It was there. It's like there was kind of less of that character interaction I liked from the last one, and like
That was definitely, like, a really,
like Yuna came out of nowhere, but like her coming in that thing felt very similar to the last episode. But right after they were like, "Oh, let's go on the mission. We're gonna help them," is where everything kind of tapered off, and it kind of just was like, okay, I guess.
I'm gonna say, like, the whole plot with... Is it Chimera?
Chimera.
Chimera?
Chimera. Yeah. Chimera?
Evil Dark Lady.
Yeah.
Evil Shadow Lady.
Dark
Dark
Giant.
Lady. I don't remember. She was only a main character in the last season, whatever. But
She was only the main villain.
I mean, again, just assuming you've watched the rest of this episode yet, and oh my gosh, I can't speak. Assuming you've watched this episode already, I'm gonna go on from here with just spoilers. But
Obviously, she died.
No. What?
At the last season, she quote-unquote died.
I was talking about the episode.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were getting into, like, trigger spoilers, which I'm like, I guess aren't if you're watching this.
I don't know. But, I don't know. I feel like the whole... Because I was like, okay, I like that they're leading up to, like, maybe a redemption arc with her. And we kind of did, because... Again, like, just to get into, like, what I thought about this episode as a whole. Just because we have, like, 4 things to talk about. Again, I was really kind of excited to be like, oh, a redemption arc. I always love a good redemption arc. I felt like what they ended up doing was kind of too little, too late. Like, because here's the thing. Well, another, like, whole B-plot that they have that has to do with, like, I guess an excuse for Yuna to be brought in is, like, the thing with
the
this flower, Rayla, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, honestly, I feel like you could have basically completely cut this Rayla plot, and they probably should have, like, because I feel like everything that they wanted to do with Chimera, again, I'm probably saying it wrong, sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like that just needed more time, and I feel like they just kind of, like, ran out.
They gave it to the flower over it.
Because, like, it's like, there was no point to it, because, like, we're like, oh, the flower's finally doing something, I wonder what, and we see that it's, like, planted, like, in the ground, when this one was meant to be grown on, like, the dirt of Mars, which is obviously very different to Earth. So we wonder if that was going to be a thing. And this pollen is, like...
Yeah, I was also going to ask, who was the dick move who just played... Like, Yuna was just like, I don't want this plant anymore, I'm just gonna, like, go to the park, shove it in the ground. It's all good.
Yeah. That should be fine.
Yeah, that should... No harm will come from this.
But... It's just, like, the whole plot is, like, oh, this flower that has a pollen that makes people go into, like, their ideal world in their head.
They send them into the Matrix.
Basically become creepy, happy zombies.
And
it's like, oh, it's very similar to Rayla. Maybe because it's, like, an ultra-ancient...
The ultra-ancient civilization.
Thing that they used for medicine. Maybe you kind of, like...
Just remembered it.
Thought of it and kind of created it with Rayla, but it's not Rayla. Rayla's right here.
Cause yeah, Grayla. It was called like Grayla or something like that. It was literally Green Glow.
Grogu.
Green beans.
Green beans.
But
it just, I mean, and that's kind of it.
That's the flower's plot.
The flower. It's
like there's no answers.
It got more backstory, but it's still like. Hasn't done anything except for bloom that one time.
Because everyone smiled.
And here's the thing, like, with her being inside that big monster...
The Megalothor.
And was kind of protecting it, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's, like... I didn't say while we were watching it, but, like, oh, I wonder if there's gonna be, like, she's protecting it because she's in her head with Trigger, and she doesn't want to leave that, or something like that.
Yeah, we both thought about that, yeah.
No, literally nothing came from it.
Yeah.
It also just sent, like, a time limit of, like, okay, well, there's no... Flowers don't produce pollen at night, so we have until sunrise. Which is cool, but like...
Which the funny part was, it's like, it feels like they were setting up for that plot, and then didn't follow through with it, because they even said, they're like, oh, the reason that ultra-ancient flower bloomed was because of Megalothor or whatever, or at least that's what I remember it being, so it's like, okay... But why?
And then, like, she does end up getting freed because they all aimed for the cut on the chest.
They aimed for the titties.
Yeah, and she's just kind of just on their side now.
She's just like, all right.
I felt the light and it was warm. So
she's like, I guess it's okay. All the same voice.
And of course, they defeat the flower, they defeat the monster. And then it's like, oh, okay, we're going to use this card to, like, go through the barrier and get back to Mars again. And she's going to go with him. Because she holds up, like, the souls of her friends. And she's like, I need to find a place where we belong. I jokingly was like, the red one starts to, like, reach out to Yuna. Just like, I'm here. But,
no!
By the way, like, I think they may have not had the costume or something for Yuna. Because not only was she, like, dressed in, like, the weird clothes in the previous... episode, but in this episode, when she calls upon, like, the powers...
She just gets the wig.
I think I said Yuna, but, like, she just gets the wig instead of, like...
Yeah, they're like, the robes are gone, we don't know where they went.
What even?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Which, also, I like how the other, the new Gut Select members, like, Raymond and fucking... Ichika, I think her name is, were just like, oh shit, okay, I guess she's a witch.
So you're a witch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of cool to just see, like, the old costumes, hear some of the old
music. Got a jacket
like,
team
so
up.
She does get the redemption arc. Like, those two, I guess, aren't completely dead. Maybe I can finally get my star-crossed lovers Ultraman story, finally. Please.
I don't know. Overall, like, this was, it was okay. Honestly, it ended at how I feel about Trigger, where it's like, I'm like, I guess that was okay. But I liked that first episode a lot.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, I guess it was like the setup was nice, but the payoff just wasn't there.
Yeah. Especially since the flower thing wasn't even in the first that first part of the episode.
Exactly. I feel like they should have just cut the freaking flower stuff, like, completely. Like, there was no point to it. Like, if they wanted to have a little bit of backstory for the flower, then you can... don't need to do it in this way where it eats up half of your episode. Literally, if you really wanted it in there, you could just do the thing where, like, someone turns to the camera and does some exposition. Or even, like, at the end with, like, Honeyjiro, where, like, he, like, talks about a thing. You could have just brought Trigger in, and, like, he holds up his flower, and then he says it for the end of the episode, and that could be it if they really wanted to.
Yeah, also...
He also gives him the sword and stuff at the end of the
he gives him... But also, I guess, should we mention, Kanata's, like, happy reality, his ideal world? Where it was just him selling all his rice crackers to all his friends.
Who were super happy and stoked to be there.
And they wanted 1,000 rice crackers.
100 rice crackers.
They
1,000 rice crackers. 25 apples.
But yeah, no, like, so that was kind of cute. And, like, they fought.
It wasn't bad, but it's like, I do have some...
It fell flat, honestly.
Again, that first episode was, like, so, like, gripping. It hooked me, and
I was so excited.
And I technically got what I wanted, but not in the way that I wanted, I guess.
Well, it didn't do it in an interesting way at all.
Yeah.
So, I guess, from there...
I mean, there's not really much else to really say.
Well, no, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying next. Dawn Brothers?
Okay.
Ready for Dawn Brothers?
So, just because, again, we weren't really keeping up with Revice, sorry. We're doing better for Geats already. But, so, just in case you haven't seen the last episode of Revice, and you haven't watched the Dawn Brothers thing yet, go watch the Revice episode thing first, because there's the first, like, I'd say, like, 2-3-ish minutes are spoilers, kind of.
I wouldn't say they're spoilers. I'd say you're fine.
But, like, here's the thing. Like, the whole reason that we were going to do, like, a 2-episode last time, but we immediately clicked on, because we knew the gimmick was, it's making fun of Revice for ending, and then we clicked on, and it was, like, a scene from the very ending of Revice, and we're like, we clicked away.
Yeah, ultimately, it ended up being something that was even in the preview for the last episode, but, like, we didn't know if there was more, so we're like, you know what, let's not tempt fate.
It's not that bad, but if you're, like, super, like, don't want things spoiled for you, like how I was or how we were, then yeah, go watch that first. And I don't think we have anything that we could really say that would be spoilery for that.
No, they just kind of were just like, Revice is over.
So we're ending too.
Yep, time for us to pack up. Next week, totally not going to be talking about episode 27 in like a couple minutes. Yeah, I don't see us talking about anything in this episode that long.
I don't know how we always end up doing this, and I pointed this out, like, whenever we, like, double up on things, that happens to also be, like, the clip show recap catch-up thing. I don't know how we keep doing that. It's not on purpose, but, like, I mean, it's totally on purpose. But...
Yep, nail it.
But, yeah, this is a clip show, and
it's literally just, like, okay, just to say that, like, they end with the end of it.
There's a loose string of plot that's
But it's very small, and it's literally just... it's the end of the show. Time to decide who the MVP of the team is.
I think it's me, and here's why.
Yeah, it was like pretty much for every character.
And then when it came to Taro, it was like, okay, like we know he's
we didn't
amazing,
even yeah
but, like...
yeah, but we actually didn't see any new footage of Taro or Inoue brother. Like, those characters were not in the clip show. We saw more of the Naotos.
Yeah, and the girl
Senoi.
The girl was gone, though.
No, we saw her, because you remember she had her monologue about Tsubasa.
Yeah, she was on, like, a rooftop.
She was on a rooftop.
Hey, you want to know what? Maybe the actor just needed a day off. But, yeah, like
that was it.
The only reason that I would suggest watching this is for, like...
the comedy?
Like, there's, like, a couple of gags. Like, I would just fast forward through the other stuff. It's honestly just recap. It's
literally just... It's a few sentences of saying, like, man, Dononi Taijin's great. Watch, like, a little bit of, like, watch the fight.
Though the ending gag was pretty funny.
The gag was so funny.
So, it's like, okay, we're gonna reveal who the MVP is. And he, like, opens the envelope weird. And confusing something a little bit more, but we'll get to that in a second. And then he opens it, and Kaido nominates himself as the MVP. Of course he did. It was very funny.
He's the MVP, which we guessed right away. We're like, it's like probably just gonna be Kaido.
Yeah,
and it must.
The reasoning was interesting though, and this confuses me even more. This is probably the only thing that I have like worth talking about in this episode. But like this just opens more questions because they drew a congruent like what's it called
line.
A connection between Kaido when he's like in the
Zenkaiger.
black and the white Zenkaiger, and also the normal rainbow Zenkaiger that we've seen in Zenkaiger when he was all happy
Zenkaiser,
and
yeah.
peppy. Like, it showed the rainbow, it showed the black
Well,
and
yeah.
white, and it showed him. He's like, well, the reason I get MVPs because you guys have been doing this for 6 months, and I've been doing it for way longer. And they showed that, so there's that connection there.
Yeah,
so
they show it.
Is this Kaido or is this not? Like, why have they not answered this?
Well, yeah, like, that's just kind of it. Like, I don't know what else to add, where it's like, I'm still not sure what this Kaido is doing. But it was just so funny because it's like, you can't beat his logic either. He has been doing it longer than all of them.
It's like, I've been fighting longer, and I have this cafe, and I'm amazing. And he's like, but as the MVP, I will be giving you gifts. Prize. And then it's like the second edition of his photo book.
Yeah, he did a sequel to his photo book, and they were all were like, what?
Fucking, I love the humor.
What the fuck? But then it's so funny because the next episode doesn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's just like, well, that happened. Anyway, on with the show.
Which this was. Is there a lot to talk about? It's just kind of.
Not much. I think they were at a water park for like 2 seconds.
Just hanging out, like Taro was drinking a mimosa.
Yeah, like he had like opened up a tiny door, and Kaido like gave him like a fucking like tropical drink. And, like, we see Taro...
A red tropical drink.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because, like, we see him smile a couple times in this when they're like, come on, Taro, come play with us. The water's great. And then he gets this big old smile. And he's like... I love it when he smiles because it just seems genuine, you know? And he, like, jives in.
And then
he's just under the fucking water, like...
Just fully wet. Me. And then he immediately... Well, yeah, I mean, he's immediately, like, fight me. And they actually have him, like, doing, like, the... Wait, give me a second. Oh. Fight me! He was exactly like that, trust me.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, I was about to say, Toa, you're gonna strike me down again? Ooh.
You spit water all over me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, like then he pops up.
We'll fight in 3 days.
Well, not even that. You remember when he pops up out of the water and then Sanoi's on the land?
But wet.
Yeah, but you could just tell he's just drenched, which I'm like, oh, the poor actor.
Yeah, he probably chafed from that. That did not look good. As someone that had like a satin like costume on in the rain one time, it is not comfortable.
I can imagine.
That thing weighs a ton when it's wet too. Or that fabric, I guess.
But yeah, no, so yeah, it's pretty much, they have to fight in 3 days, and you see Sanoi training for his 3 days.
He's out of suit and they're in suit because he's like, that's the closest we're gonna get to.
Yeah, the same speed, yeah. Like, limit himself. Mm-hmm. But then we get Taro, where they're immediately like, all the other Dawn brothers are like, why aren't you training? Aren't you gonna prepare for your fight? Yeah, and then he says this line really weird.
We learned something interesting.
Yeah, do you remember exactly how it was said?
Something along the lines of like my strength is painful and training wouldn't really do anything for me.
Oh yeah.
Like, and just like my sheer strength is like painful or something like
that.
And it's just like, what?
It's like, whoa. Do.
Again, like, Dawn Brothers and freaking laying these breadcrumbs.
I'm very interested.
Can you show me?
And
then the day comes.
And then the day comes, and
Sanoi's all mad because he got fucking stood up.
Yeah, he's like, it starts at noon. And they were like, he's like, oh, you were late. How could you do this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What? How could you do that? Where was I? I legitimately just...
Wait, you shouldn't be playing on your phone or recording a podcast.
I'm sorry, I was putting it on mute.
Sure.
I
saw Twitter.
It wasn't Twitter.
Anyway, Sanoi got mad because he got stood up on the day.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, immediately, Taro's still just working.
He's just like, my coworker called in sick. Our fight is like my personal life, and my job comes first.
My job takes priority.
So Sanoi just helps.
Yeah, and it's just like, fine, we'll get done if we work together. He then starts driving, and like Taro gets another smile.
Yeah, I think you said a lot of people have screenshot it. It's just this cute little ha ha ha, I got my way kind of.
Yeah, and They pretty much, they do the male thing, and then they ran into a... Oh, yeah, the Odin.
Yeah, like, they end up helping out this lady that's throwing a fucking full-ass Karen fit.
Who I think was the Kyoryuger monster.
Yeah, I think it was that lady, too. And then because she was mad because she was, like, in the middle of dinner. He's like, I arrived at the time you said. And she's like, oh, but whatever. And she's, like, punching her box that says fragile.
Yeah, just Sonoya, uppercutting it.
Sonoya, like, calms her down by kissing her hand. And then Taro's like, oh, by the way, the thing she was eating was the thing that I promised our date.
And he went Yeah, he just creepily opened the door and just said...
She's like, would you like to join? And he's like, no. And he slams the door. She's all mad. And,
yeah, there's pretty much that. And then we're at the quarry. Everyone's favorite quarry. Mm-hmm. And their duel starts. Which their duel was pretty cool. That almost twisted my tongue for some reason. And it, like, opens up. And, like, that's actually how the episode opens up. But then, like... Jiro shows up, and you're like, oh my god. And then Murasame shows up.
And then the other
like
Siberians show up, and like apparently there's a bunch more bestials than we thought because a shitload of them pop up.
And like the fat ninja, you remember the fat ninja guy back in like the episode where they got the ninja guy? Fat guy. Well, now he's a wizard.
He's having Magi Ranger.
Yeah, now he's a Magi Ranger.
Revenge, and the Dawn brothers show up, and it's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, and
there's a little bit of a nice moment where like both Taro and Sonoya kind of see like, oh, my companions
are helping me.
Just legitimately want to help me. They understand what's important to me, you know. And like they fight a little bit, and they have to stumble off, and they help fix each other's wounds.
Yeah, and then they have their like final fight.
Oh, like a bridge.
Yeah, which was really quick after they did Don Oni Taijin and all that. Mm-hmm. And seeming...
Taro was like, I have something I need to do.
Yeah,
and... We didn't get Don...
Toradora Oni Taijin. It's a long name. Toradora Oni Taijin, I think, is its name. But, yeah, we didn't get that. We did get them actually teaming up as robots. And
no mix up yet.
Yeah, no
anyway,
mix
them
up.
On the bridge.
But yeah, them on the bridge and
they basically did the samurai thing of like
yeah,
you know,
and Sonoya seemingly dies.
Yeah, like it's just Taro.
Taro walks away.
Taro just kind of walks away. He lands on the ground and like Murasame comes in, like takes Sonoya. So
for some reason,
we kind of sort of learn what's going on with the bestials. From what I could gather, basically, obviously the Siberians need humans to live. They need their brainwaves. It's like, oh, but we kind of see them more as a resource than anything. And the Dawn clan that Dawn Momotaro is from, like, tried to basically make, like, a more sustainable resource that doesn't involve the humans. So, the bestials, which were the bestials... So the bestials are basically like failed alien experiments of trying to make people, as far as I can tell. And it's like, oh, and Murasame is, and then it cuts away. It's like, Murasame's what?
Yeah,
Murasame's fucking what? God damn it,
He's a pretty cool dude.
I feel like Dawn Brothers would be really good to binge, just because, like, I'm so impatient. I'm just like, I want to fucking know.
But it also gets you wanting to come back every week.
Yeah, there's so many questions that I still have. The fact that Inoue Brothers still isn't freaking a part of the group yet.
Yeah,
so many things are making me crawling. Mad. What's up with Kaido?
We are crawling up to like episode 30, and he's still not there.
I really hope that this isn't setting up for like an accidental. Oh fuck! We have all these plot threads that we need to tie up in the end, and it's just like a clusterfuck of trying to like. Tie up all the loose ends. I really, really, really hope and pray that this isn't gonna be a clusterfuck at the end and they actually do have a good plan as to how they're going to solve this.
We're gonna have to see.
Because Dawn Brothers has been fantastic so
I
far.
have been loving it.
It has been a wonderful successor to Sentai.
It has been fun.
It has been so fun. It's like the refined, like just 110% version of Zenkaiger, basically. And just so good.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope the best for this, and I really hope that
yeah, but that means we're going to be talking about another new boy in town. We got Kamen Rider Geats.
We got Geats.
We have the Geats. That's the farmers.
Whatever. We got the beeps, the creeps, and the geets. So...
This was really interesting.
Yeah, like, oh my... Like, this isn't obviously, like...
By the way, we are talking about spoilers, I guess.
Oh, yeah, like, if you haven't seen the first episode of Geats yet, spoilers.
Go see that, and... Yeah, we'll go into those in a couple of minutes, and I will give one last warning before I say something.
Okay.
Overall, this was really interesting, where it's like, it felt like we were at the ending of something, but at the beginning of it as well, because it's like, it opens up with, like, Ace, Geats himself. I can remember his name because it's just, who else am I going to get that mixed up for at the moment? Like, is flipping this coin, and this lady's like, here's your Kamen, you're a Kamen Rider now, and he's just like, oh yeah, I know, I'm ready. Like, he's kind of like a cocky asshole, and I kind of love it.
I like it, but he's definitely cocky, but I don't know if he's like necessarily being like a jerk.
He's not being a jerk about.
We'll have to see more.
But I like how it's like.
I get the vibes you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm saying, it's like before the end, like he already knew he had won, I guess, and he was just like, I'll let them get a head start. I'm just gonna drink my little coffee.
But so
in his suit and his scarf.
Yeah. For those who don't know, from the gist of what I've been able to gather from like previews and magazines and what you've told me, blah blah blah, stuff like that, is like, so like they're basically one big like death game. It's like a battle royale.
It's called the Desire Grand Prix.
And whoever is because apparently like it's like either if you die or it's like there's like this scoreboard of like getting points from like what I
There's a lot of dead riders.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead riders we saw. You can get points from saving people and defeating grunts, and they have like these like fortresses.
Yeah.
And
which I guess they called bosses.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, and once you win, because it like basically once it's down to like the last three, it's like whoever gets the most points in the last run for the end basically wins, or who doesn't die also, I guess. Well, but it's like whoever's
I'm not quite sure about that yet though.
Well, but it's like whoever's the last one standing with the most points like gets to like reimagine and reset the world to their desire. Yeah. And that, again, like the whole thing with like
that's why it's called
Driver and the
Desire Grand Prix. But it's also really interesting.
Which is really interesting.
Like, and it's like, I don't know if you save people, if you get any points.
Well, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, but they were also talking about
for the points.
Well, yeah, I thought he was only saving because there was monsters nearby, so that's why, i.e., you're saving them. Therefore, you're getting points for saving them, quote unquote, because you're taking care of the monsters, even though that's the reason you're there. Like, but
why'd you say I was wrong? That's what I just said.
I don't know. And it's very interesting because we get 3 riders this episode. We get Shiroi, the polar bear. We'll get to him in a second.
Buffa, which is the
Buffa.
Is it buffalo? Is he a buffalo or?
Yeah, he's the buffalo. He's the zombie guy.
Is he a bull?
I think he's a buffalo.
I think he's a bull because I think that's what they said. Like a polar bear? Is that a bull? Like I think it's a bull.
Okay. Buffa, whatever.
I also don't think buffalo quite have horns like that, but I mean, imagine a bull.
He looks like a Diablo more than he looks like a buffalo or bull anyway.
So those are basically the last 3, and we see
and Geats.
We legitimately just see one of them die. Like
yeah. Okay. So spoiler alert. Hope you weren't hoping Kiryu Blue was gonna be sticking around the series for that long because he's now dead.
But hey, like some of the characters that we saw are back, so like maybe there's. I mean, is Geats the only returning player?
See, like that's the weird feeling where it's like he talks and everything like he's done this all before, and like
we've seen like they got a bunch of new people. We saw like.
At the end, everyone's getting handed.
Girl,
she's getting handed a driver. He's gonna be the Tanuki man. He got ramen. What's his name? Oh, it's right here. Kaiwa.
Yeah.
Kaiwa and his sister who gets stuck behind not barbed
Oh,
wire.
did she also get one?
No, she didn't get one, but like, I remember her.
Mm-hmm.
She was there for 3 seconds to freak out.
Again, this is a first episode, so we don't know all that much about it.
Yeah, but like,
But so
it's
far, man, these suits look good too. Like,
yeah, and they were plowing through some of these grunts though.
Oh my gosh, this
like,
wasn't like Amazon's level of like gore and violence, but man, this was brutal.
Like
This
Buffa was just
legitimately
going in
brutal.
with his chainsaw sword, just like being like,
We legitimately watched a civilian just die in front of our eyes.
yeah, we watched several.
Yeah, like there was one in particular where I was like, "Holy shit!" Because like it like knocked like one of the, like these weird like
Monster
these
dude.
weird red monster dudes. I don't know how to describe them.
The grunts.
Like knocked a guy on the ground, like stepped on him, and then used his spear to just fucking stab
Impale him.
Impale him. I was like, oh my god, that guy's just dead.
Yeah, he's no longer alive. And so pretty much Geats is then like, oh no, as they're running away right after Shiroi dies. He just like catches the girl because she fell off the thing, and other guy, Kiwa, was trying to catch her. Which also, we saw that, like, Neon was, like, a YouTuber, live streamer.
Something like that.
And
she's like, I'm running away again. Haha. And then, like, the men
yeah, she just
him up.
bails. She just bails on the other guy. You remember where it's like, they're just running, and she's just, like, keeps running.
He did the classic, my ankle. Like, he tripped, but shit, this bitch was out. She's like, fuck no, I ain't going back for his ass.
Yeah, she's like,
Hell
fuck
no,
that shit, I'm out.
I was like, you know what? I can respect it. That would probably also be me. Just be like, bye.
But, we also have bike. We have a motorcycle.
Legitimate motorcycle, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It turned into a fox for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
We'll see how many times we see that by the end of the series.
Yeah, it had, like, bird feathers as a bike.
Yeah.
Again, these suits look really good
yeah.
far.
I didn't know Geats had guns on his arms.
Yeah.
He had like all hideaway pistols.
Yeah, he also used as like an exhaust boost when he was
when he switched to like the boost one.
Sonic Racing, man.
Yeah. Oh my god, near the end when that buckle flew off. That was hilarious. Just
like, what's going on? Hold on. And it like flew around. I see a lot of inspiration from a lot of good shows in this episode. Like, the soundtrack sounds very much like Double with like the piano and the trumpets.
Yes, I like the soundtrack. Like, that stood out to me immediately.
I mean, a lot of like
if that was the ending that we were hearing at the end, that sounded pretty good.
I'll definitely be like, I'm pretty hyped for the theme. That's not like, I'm getting some good vibes.
Yeah.
A lot of like the like actual like toy parts of the show, because obviously there's toy parts. It looks like such a cool toy, by the way, that I'm like, this is gonna be so fun.
I can't wait for it to get in the mail.
It's like a combination of like I guess almost you can use the gimmicks that you see a lot in like Ultraman, where it's like a character coin basically. By the way, we saw him like touch it and get all his memories back, so I guess that'll probably be a part of things.
Yeah, like it seems like everyone's memories are getting erased. We should add that aspect in.
Yeah, like again, we'll probably know more.
Well, yeah, we don't know if you get them back when you touch it.
But, like the toys are obviously like inspired by like Drive, because it's using a lot of the same like sound cues and stuff. And like,
in a way.
And it fucking flips like how.
Oh yeah, because it can do the revolve on.
Yeah, it flips like how Geo's did, which I like screamed when I saw it. It was awesome. And like we saw him like freaking like morph, like his head like flipped over.
Oh yeah.
It was really weird. Like just a lot of good inspiration.
It was an experience, to say the least. Like,
yeah.
it looked like how they want the figure to work. Like
the game lady.
Yeah, do you have anything to say about her?
I like her dress.
Okay.
It's about all I got, but I like her dress.
But yeah, like the game navigator, like is she like the Poppy of this game?
Hostess, I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
Just
Also,
because...
who's the butler guy who is just sitting there in the Grand Prix in like giving
I don't know,
Ace the tea?
Spill the tea, queen.
He's like, yes, I'm the Alfred of this show. Or am I? See you later.
Again, we'll probably find out more,
yeah.
But
It's a solid start.
Yeah,
It was a fun start.
It's definitely hooked me. I want to see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
Okay, here's a question.
What?
If you had to go into this Desire Grand Prix, how scared would you be?
Oh, I'd be shitting myself.
Yeah?
It'd be like, you're now a Kamen Rider. Yay, that sounds great. Takes it. Like, okay, I wonder what kind of show I'm in. Oh, you're in the Death Game one. Fuck!
Like, there was literally lists upon lists of the riders. Did you see?
Oh, yeah, we even saw, like, the lady, like, distributing the riders. There was, like, an older lady. There was, like, a teenage nerdy-looking girl.
Like, yeah,
was,
like
a construction
who knows how
worker
many we're
guy.
gonna see next episode die.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Like,
You always know, it's like the Hunger Games. Those first 30 seconds, man, are probably gonna be when a lot of them go.
And here's the scary part. They were advertising Shiroi, and everyone's like, well, he might be dying near Christmas. No, you're wrong. He's dying now.
Stab.
Vaporized.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know if, like, he is, like, technically dying, because it just kind of, like, he went, like, limp and said game over, and he dissipated away.
Yeah, but his driver was left behind.
Yeah, and, like, his coin, I think, like, fell to the ground. Like, I imagine that probably means death, but, I mean, we could be wrong. Pretty sure he's dead, but, you know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see what episode 2 brings. I think that's it.
Do we have any more?
I don't really have any.
I mean, I wish we had more to talk about, but, like, again, it's just kind of episode 1.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Like, I mean, I guess
I like the vibe.
Yeah, like, a lot of good vibe. I like that this seems to be, like, a little bit more of, like, a darker aimed Kamen Rider series, and I am so for that. I
wouldn't even say it's going darker.
I'm
It's
not
just
even saying, like,
yeah, but it's definitely going different, and it's definitely going to, like, it is not afraid. Sorry.
You're good.
So, it's not afraid to show people dying, obviously, or giving that concept out there. And obviously, last year we learned about that a lot, and in 01. You remember when Jin just shot somebody with a real pistol?
Oh my god, yeah. I guess, yeah, that maybe it'll, like, dial it back from now on. I hope not. I kind of hope that it keeps going from this, but...
You'll never know, and, like, it looks really interesting. It's, like, it feels like I said, it feels like we were at the end of, like, one game, and now we're starting the new game.
Yeah, it's, like, it feels like we, like, jumped to, like, the last chapter of a book.
Yeah,
you know,
but it's like...
oh, let's better go and read what actually happened.
But, like, yeah, but then, like, you get this feeling in this show that, like, Ace has gone through this a lot. Like, you get that weird vibe where it's just,
and
like...
some other guy that has, like, a gold, like, Caesar coin?
That's him.
Is that also Geats?
Yeah.
Is Geats an older dude? No, wait, no, we saw him young. Are they both him?
Yeah, no, they were both him. He was just wearing a hat at the end.
Oh. Again, I wonder if he's just, like, a veteran of this game.
Yeah, and, like, he's just, like, immortal because he just keeps resetting the world and letting it go on.
Yeah, and, like, maybe, like, the coins have evolved over time to, like, what they
but
are
he's
now, but he has an older one because he's just been doing it for that long.
That's one of the many theories I've seen out.
I also wonder if this show is pulling a hibiki of, like, oh, the show is, like, named after this character, but it actually follows this character.
Because, yeah, like, he was going to become Tycoon and everything. We saw that he got a belt.
So it just makes me wonder, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
definitely excited for this belt.
Story, but for a death game.
You're going to die. Hang out with me.
See you later. But, yeah, again, anyone else got any theories? Like,
yeah, like, what is everyone's opening thoughts on Geats? I think it has a really strong start, and it was really fast-paced, and it makes you really want to see what they're going to be doing with this.
I think what's interesting about doing shows like this while a show is going on is you don't have to worry about spoilers, really, because it's ongoing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if this is, like, being listened to in the far future, then that doesn't really apply anymore, but...
Well, yeah, but you can't spoil us if we have the rest of the show!
But, yeah, it's so interesting, because now it's like, oh, we can basically talk open and freely and not have to worry about looking at something and accidentally catching a spoiler, because like, everyone's getting the same information at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
Nobody really quite knows yet.
I don't know if that's interesting to anyone else, but...
yeah, no.
I guess it's just because I'm always so late on things.
But this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, this...
Like, honestly,
vibes from this.
his title writer, and, like, comparing comparing it to the writer's previous two main writers that he wrote, which were Emu and Arturo, Ace feels definitely really different compared to those two.
It's been a while since we had an asshole.
Like, yeah, again, he's a little full of himself, maybe.
Which I'm fine.
Like,
I
yeah.
think those are always really fun.
So it's like, it's just gonna be fun to see what else he has, because he's like I said, he just like, no fucks were given.
I'm also kind of happy because this is like the first Kamen Rider. I guess this is kind of like the first like Toku thing that we've gotten in a while that isn't an anniversary something. It's like, okay, we don't have to be like, oh, okay, like, what other Rider... I mean, obviously, they're probably going to have some sort of, like...
Well, come on, we already have Rider buckles.
Like, for Revice, but it's like, that's not the whole show. It's like, okay, it's its own thing. Finally, God!
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like every year was an anniversary for something for a hot minute.
Well, 01 wasn't.
Well, yeah, but, like, Revice was... Zenkaiger and...
Yeah.
By extent, Dawn Brothers is a little bit.
It's
right
weird.
Now. Decker is, basically a retelling of Dinah along with Trigger last year, which is retelling.
I guess I could tell.
It's like finally something like completely new and fresh. Yeah, not saying the other shows are bad, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
no.
It's like wow, finally. It's been a while.
And again, it's really interesting, and it's good. It's been a while since we've had a writer that's just. It's been since Build, I think, that's been a writer that is already pre-established.
Yeah.
Like, which is nice.
Yeah, it's always cool to see that. Again, I have feelings they're probably going to be pulling a Hibiki with this, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, Hibiki, Kabuto, you're definitely probably going to be right. I can't wait to see what the other characters are going to be like. I have no idea. We still have plenty of other writers we got to meet.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm about to say anything you want to say that's standing out to you right now? Any characters or anything?
I guess not. Not
yeah.
that I can really think of at the moment.
Yeah, nothing's. I'm like, I need a little more, and I feel like that's always the problem with first episodes.
Only the first taste,
so.
Looking forward to the next episode.
So leave whatever you guys want to leave in the comments, whether it be some of our answers or some of your own ideas. Feel free to ask us a couple questions. Maybe we will put them on the show, or maybe we'll just reply in the comments. And
thank you so much for listening.
Yep. And until whatever we do next,
go watch our Revice podcast.
Yep.
It was long. We worked hard on it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.